is a win of a soup. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chronicles of Chef. I'm Scott Hamilton, and today we got another freezer dive. Let's see what we're gonna get into. I've had these hash browns for like a year and a half. I opened them. They're covered in ice, and I think it's time to salvage them. Let's go. All right, let's get into this freezer dive. I was thinking about our hash browns. They have peppers and onions in it, but everything's just like covered in ice. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to make them into like good hash browns. They're not gonna caramelize, they're gonna be softer. So my thought was, let's make a delicious soup. Spring's in the air, Easter's around the corner. So that means ham is gonna be on the menu soon. And so I figured, let's make a leftover inspired ham and potato cheese soup. I didn't get spiralized ham, but this is like a smoked off the bone kind of ham situation. Any kind of ham like this is gonna do. We just want it kind of thicker cut, and I got some nice squares in it. We're gonna throw this into our pan with our oil to start browning this and start rendering out our fat so we can get some good flavor build. Drop that right in there. Ooh, oh yeah. Hear that sizzle? Since I'm kind of thinking in these leftover terms, I kept the prep for myself to a minimum. I shredded up some Beehive cheese with some mustard and herbs. Delicious. A little havarti I just cubed up to make our soup rich and thick and a little nutty. So the only thing that I really chopped up was a little bit of leeks, because I just think leeks, ham, and potatoes is such a beautiful combination. Our ham is working great. We're gonna throw our chopped up leeks in here. It's about a third of a cup or so of leeks, and they're really just gonna kind of melt into the background. They're not gonna be around a whole lot. Everything's gonna be fine. It's smelling so good already. Woo! The fat from this ham is rendering out nicely. That flavor is just gonna enrich all of the other ingredients. Plenty of salt in this ham, so we're gonna wait till closer to the end to salt things. And I'm also not doing a bunch of garlic or any other kind of seasonings because our roasted asparagus that's left over already has a seasoning on it. Roasted carrots already seasoned up. Ham is packed full of flavor. So we're gonna adjust the seasoning at the end and add some fresh thyme for some brightness and just kind of mess with things, but we're not going to worry too much about the seasonings till the very end on this one because we're using so many already seasoned things. I am liking where we are at with that. So next we're going to add in our potatoes. If you're from Utah or around Utah, you'll know about a thing called funeral potatoes, which is usually kind of either a shredded potato or a cubed potato like this in like a creamy cheesy sauce with a bunch of cheese on top and like cornflakes for crunchiness. Even though it's called funeral potatoes, I feel like it's always served at Christmas and at Easter. I think I'm going to use similar ingredients to what you would make into that kind of like funeral potatoes or a scallop potato or any of those kind of more rich, creamy potatoes. And I think that you could potentially take one of those complete dishes as leftovers and still make a bomb soup with it. So if you try it, let me know down in the comments how it goes, and let me know if I should give it a try and film it. Let me know. All right, so we're gonna throw these in now because I want all this water in here to kind of evaporate. We're gonna use it to kind of deglaze the pan, but we want to kind of break that down, have that water help reduce any of the flavors that are kind of coming out of the ham and everything to help season our potatoes. There we go. There's about 2 or so cups of those like hash browns. There's still more, so maybe I'll have to do a part 2. We'll see. There we go. Just to kind of layer in a little bit of flavor and whatnot, I'm going to throw a little bit of thyme in here right now, just to kind of work on building up those flavors. I'm going to add some now, then I'll add some at the very, very end, and then we'll leave just a bit for garnishing. That smells delightful. Oh, I'm loving it. Our pan dropped temperature a whole lot because of the frozen potatoes, so I cranked mine up. I'm pretty much at like a high heat right now. I really want to cook everything off, and then I'll bring it back down to a medium heat as we continue our cook. All right, that is looking beautiful. Looks like we got all that water is cooked off. We've got no more ice in there, which I'm loving. Now you can use a stock, you can use just water, bouillon, bone broth, whatever you really want to do. I'm going to use this Better Than Bouillon roasted garlic. It's going to give us tons of flavor. I'm going to do a teaspoon in it, and I'm going to kind of let everything coat itself in it. Typically you add 8 ounces of water. I'm only going to add 4 so that this soup has a little bit more thickness to it, and it's going to intensify that better bouillon. Ooh, that is smelling good. 4 ounces or a half cup of water to work with our bouillon. Let that kind of cook down. I'm going to use half and half. You can use cream, you can use milk. If you use milk, my suggestion is to use a thickening agent, whether it's a cornstarch slurry or a roux. I'm looking to not use a roux or any of those kinds of things. So I'm going to go with the in-between, half milk, half cream, half and half. And we're going to start with a cup of this to start working. There we go. Now, you're wondering why I haven't added the asparagus or our carrots. These are already fully cooked. They also can get mushy really easily. So these are going to go in at the very last minute to go in so that we don't overcook them in our soup. We just want to heat these through and kind of help these flavors in the soup get into this and have these kind of spread out. Everyone can get friendly, but we don't want to overcook these and just turn these into mush. Once this gets to a nice simmer, we'll start adding our cheese. We're going to start with our havarti. It's about a half pound and just a plain classic havarti. You can use cheddar, you can use Swiss, you can use Gruyere, whatever cheese that you really want to have. I'm doing a blend of 2 cheeses, but again, the world is your oyster. Choose what you want. This is not something we need to overthink. It's soup with leftovers, you know? Whoa. All right, we're getting to a nice simmer. So I'm going to add about half of my havarti and then half of this Beehive cheese, which is a local cheese here to Utah. It's a mustard and herb, so there's a little bit of zing. It was good. About half of that. This is about 3/4 of a pound of cheese all together that we're going to mix in and have for garnishing. Okay. Start to melt that cheese down. It's already starting to thicken up nicely. Part of me is like, I should have gone with the yellow cheese, brought some extra color to it. But then I remember I've got green and I've got orange that I'm going to add to it later. And it's going to be delicious and beautiful. Oh, yeah. Let's give this a little tasty taste. It's good. I was expecting a little bit more salt and a little bit more seasoning, so I'm excited to be able to work that in because it is definitely a little on the flat side. It looks like majority of that havarti has melted in, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and throw the rest of our havarti in there. And if you want to use like a flavor havarti, the dill havarti would be great. A jalapeno cheese in here also would be delicious. My kids have been asking for like a potato soup, and so I'm trying to keep the spice levels to a minimum. But a little drizzle of like hot honey over the top of this at the end. We got some good ideas here going, team. Let me know down in the comments what's your favorite topping to put on specifically creamy soups like this, and also just any soups in general. Oh yeah, there we go. And I know at first it was like a little nerve-wracking that there wasn't enough liquid. But I think this is going to turn out just right. And I like to have my soup be able to have lots in it. I don't want it too brothy. All right, we're going to do a little bit more of this cheese, and then we'll save the rest for some garnish. Oh, we got a good boil here, so we're going to bring this down just about a medium or so. Oh, look how rich and creamy. Remember, when you're making a sauce like this and you're going to use cheese, never use the pre-shredded cheese. The anti-clumping agents on those already shredded are going to make this grainy and just not melt right, and it's just not going to be good. You can always do a quick rinse of your shredded cheese, or just get a block of cheese and shred it, cube it, whatever you need to do yourself. All right, now let's see where we're at. This is coming together absolutely beautifully. Now that cheese is in there, it's really coming together really well. I'm going to hit it with a good amount of salt and some pepper. Give that a nice stir. This needs a little bit of a tang, so I'm going to go ahead and use some sour cream. Some plain yogurt will be fine, Greek yogurt. All those things will be great. They're going to have a little bit of acidity to them. It's not going to loosen the soup base. It's actually going to add some more texture to it, and a little bit more rich and creaminess to it. So I think that is a win. And we're just going to do this whole thing in here. Whoop. Leek was stuck on there. All right, we can just give this a good mix. This soup is cooking pretty fast, and part of that is because of those potatoes. They're par cooked, so they're ready to heat quickly. So it's giving us a head start. If I was doing this with the fresh potatoes, this process would have gone a lot slower, and I probably would have done a whole cup of stock to kind of boil the potatoes at the start. The potatoes are already cooked perfectly. Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna hit it with a little bit more fresh thyme in here. We're gonna give it a little bit of touch of sweetness. We're gonna just do a little teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of honey. We're not looking to taste the honey, but if you can taste the honey, honey and ham go great together, so it's not a huge deal. Let's give this another try. That is just right. All right, we're gonna go ahead and throw in our asparagus and our carrots. Oh, there we go. Love this. We're gonna hit it with just a touch more salt, and a little more black pepper. Delightful. Oh, simple, delicious. The thyme is nice and bright and fresh. The potato is great. Let's try some little ham. That is delightful. Oh yeah, flavors are on point. We're gonna let this cook for a little while, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, just so that things can get to know each other. We want it just under or just about a simmer. We don't want to worry about burning anything. We don't want anything boiling and overcooking, so that all the flavors can play, get to know each other, become good friends, so that they become delicious bites. I think this is looking absolutely delicious, divine, and I think it's time to plate up our soup and get a little garnish on there. Oh, look at how beautiful this turned out. All right, scoop there. Oh yeah, it's so good. All right, we're gonna turn that heat off. A little bit of our mustard and herb cheddar cheese, a little thyme. Oh, this looks good. Oh, and it smells so good too. Oh yeah. Let's dig in on this deliciousness. That it came together so quickly. I love that. I don't know how fast it did because I was just like going. So I'll look back and I'll let you know how long this really took. But it feels like it took like 30-ish minutes. And I am for that. Well, look at this bite. Wait, we need a little carrot. Where's some carrot? There we go. Oh, we lost the asparagus. Carrot on there. Okay. We got a little bit of everything. And this is why I like to chop things to similar size so that they can all fit on a spoon together, on the fork together. They can be eaten together if that's how they're meant to be eaten. But so good. The simplicity of this is what makes it so delicious. You have a really simple, creamy, rich cheese. A little bit of that mustard in there, a little bit of the herbs. You got the fresh thyme to kind of brighten things up, but just a nice, rich, creamy soup base with some delicious ham, some potatoes that needed some love, some leeks to add that, just like that buttery onion that I feel like the leeks have. Oh, and the great thing is like the asparagus that I had was like some lemon roasted off asparagus. The carrots were like a glazed kind of roasted carrot. All the flavors came in, they hung out, they're doing good things. If you're making this out of leftovers from your meal, you know those flavors are going to go together because you were making for the same meal. So like, you know that this is going to come together and kind of be like a soup version of the meal that you just had, but you can always add things to kind of make it pop. The fresh thyme, you add the different kind of cheese. Maybe you go more cheddar or whichever one you want to do. It's delicious. Also, what you can do is we can add a little zing. I think just a touch of hot honey. Whoop. Just to see how it feels. There we go. Now it's very concentrated hot honey because I didn't want to mix it all together. But that little bit of heat, oh, that makes it sing. Oh, some nice sourdough toast, little bread bowl. This is good. Freezer Dive, success. Repurposing leftovers, double success. I hope this inspires you to use those leftovers in more creative ways other than just reheating them and eating them the same way. To get something new, something fun, exciting, to get you in the kitchen to have some fun. Like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and we'll see you next time. Oh man, this is a win of a soup. Let's go.